Hi, this is Daniel Harwood with IQ Coin Ventures. I'm here with Pedro from Bityond, and he's here to tell us about his ICO.
That's right. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Daniel, for interviewing me, for having me. So I'll give you a brief introduction about Bityond. Simply, it's a recruitment and talent management platform that matches candidate skills to jobs. So companies can use the platform to recruit on the entire Bityond network or to manage employees within their organization within the platform. The tokens have a simple purpose. We build the tokens for governance so that any user who interacts with the platform receives either buys tokens or receives tokens and can use those tokens for governance within the platform. So they can make a decision on new developments, new add-ons, new features, and so on. So they vote and they can donate tokens so that we, the team, build those new functionalities.
Okay, that makes sense. Most successful tokens and ICOs, other than the marketing side of things, the big thing that gets people on board is the fact that it solves a problem that people are having. So what's the big problem that is out there in the world that you guys are solving with this?
Sure. I think that we solve one problem, which is very simple, I guess. We want to do the matching correctly. So we want to do it efficiently and fast, basically. And we don't want either companies or candidates to actually look for jobs. We want the jobs to come to them, or candidates to come to companies, basically. So that's what Bityond does, very simply. So when you join, you create your profile, and after that, after you add your skills and your experience, that's it. The jobs come to you. So you go to your dashboard as a candidate and you see the list of jobs. So you don't need to to actually go and look for a job like the job portals or LinkedIn and etc. And for companies, also it's the same logic. So when they create a job, they'll get a list of candidates who match that job, and they can just invite them for interviews and do the whole process within Bityond. The advantage of tokens is I don't know any other recruitment or talent management platform that allows their user base to actually govern the platform. So, and that's what we want to do. So we want to innovate in two ways by doing the skills, the matching of skills very efficiently, and to allow users to have governance within the platform, so they can make any decision in terms of what's going to be added to the platform, basically.
Okay, that makes sense. And as far as the team, can you tell me a bit more about yourself and your background, how you got started, how you came up with the idea?
Of course. Sure. So basically, I came up with the idea because I was, for a brief period of time, I was working in recruitment. I was managing, a team of consultants here in Portugal, actually, before I started working abroad. And what I saw that happen was there was a lack of knowledge and then information regarding what a technical person should do. Like, I understand the personal characteristics are very, very important, but if the person doesn't have the technical skills needed for a certain job, it's probably not going to work out. So, and I saw that there was a gap in knowledge between recruiters and the technical people, actually, like developers, ERP consultants, and so on. So that's when I came up with the idea, I guess. And I validated the idea when I was working on the other side. So then I moved into ERP consultancy. I was implementing and supporting ERP systems. And I noticed that the gap was real. So the company did have some problems, recruiting, and I saw other companies trying to recruit for that, for the company I was working with, and there was a mismatch of people, and so I tried I tried to validate the idea while I was working at at different client sites at different companies, and and everyone who saw the platform actually told me that it was a very good idea, especially because you're combining something that doesn't exist, which is recruitment and talent management all in one, basically. So that's why I came up with the idea, I guess.
And as far as the current situation, where are you in terms of product? Have you got anything to show yet? What stage are you at? How far? How long will it be until you've got something working?
Of course. I mean, I invite anyone to go to bityond.com and just sign up and try out the platform because it's live. So we already have a live version since last year. We're building well. Basically, this is the first version, and it's free. It's 100% free, so anybody can use it, even companies, for free. So because we wanted to gather feedback for version 2, which is coming in September, at the end of September, and that version will have way more features, like I mentioned, like for example, an interviews module, so that companies can follow up within like interviews within the platform. But we use this version 1 to validate our ideas, to make small changes to the platform, and to make a little bit better for like candidates and companies. So we released it last year. We already have some companies using it, like ROF, which is the major SAP consultancy here in Portugal. We have Cross-Border Talents, a company from the UK, and they recruit in Europe mostly, basically. And we also have GFI. It's one of the biggest IT, French IT consultancies. They're also trying out Bityond in Mexico, for example. So we already have like a set of companies that want to actually try out and use the platform. I'm gonna have a meeting in a couple of hours with PwC from Portugal, because they also registered onto Bityond, and I'm just gonna have a meeting to explain how it works, what they can do with it. So I see loads of interest from companies. We already have around 2,000 users registered, candidates. So it's also growing a bit. We started here in Portugal with doing some events. But then I chose like online marketing campaigns, and it's working like very well. Loads of people registering in India, for example, in the UK too. So I think it's spreading a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, that's it's awesome to hear that you guys are already up and running.
I mean, I wouldn't do an ICO with just a white paper, to be honest. I don't think it's like it's fair for people investing. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And as far as your vision, where do you guys see the company in 5 years? I mean, it seems like the marketplace is going to be huge, but have you got an idea of how big it is, what the potential of the business is?
Sure. I mean, hopefully in 5 years, we're going to be huge. I wanted like in 3 years to have around at least 500K users. So in 5 years, I hope 2-3 million users, if all goes well, of course. I mean, our ultimate goal, to be honest, is to be LinkedIn 2.0 or 3.0 maybe, because with the addition of tokens to the platform, I think that can really change how we deal with an online platform. Because in Bityond, I think the really good thing is, while you use the platform as a candidate, by completing your profile, by getting a job, by getting invited to an interview, you get tokens for free, right? And I mean, you have an incentive to sell the tokens if there's like some liquidity and people looking for those tokens, like companies that want to buy because they want to implement a new module within the platform, right? And they can do that, right? So I think that will be really, really powerful. And I know that like cryptocurrencies, it's still a very, very small world, and not many people really know how they can maybe use tokens and the power of tokens and tokenizing your business. So I think we might have like an advantage there, because I don't see any other recruitment or talent management platform trying to do this. And what we want to do, actually, our goal is to decentralize the governance and to give power to the users so they can make decisions within the Bityond. So I mean, hopefully that idea will spread and people will see value in it, because they also get something for using the platform, for sharing data with us, for creating content in Bityond. Basically, they get tokens, and they can use the tokens to govern, or sell the tokens and make some money. So I guess that's at least when people start realizing that, hopefully we'll have like more people joining. So I think that will kick off an exponential growth in user base, I guess, hopefully.
Cool. And as far as competitors, what other competing solutions are there out there?
Okay.
How do you differentiate yourself from them?
Well, there's a couple of other platforms that do matching, landing jobs, for example. LinkedIn, more or less. LinkedIn is more a social network. Everybody compares Bityond to LinkedIn, so I guess I have to consider them a competitor. But they're more like a social network. Job platforms too. They can also be a competitor. But I think like in the cryptocurrency world, the competitors that we might have, like doc.io, for example, we're partnering with them. So we want to to work together to give because I think the point here is when your business gives tokens to the users and incentivize users to use the platform, sorry, in a different way, not only because the platform solves problem X or Y, but because you get tokens by using it, like doc.io, they also do that. I think, competition becomes a little bit cooperation, I guess, because users have an advantage to work in both platforms, right? So it might change in the future that, your competitors can also be your partners, because if you give incentives in the right way, I mean, you're actually helping users, right? So you might change how the whole market works, I guess. So, for example, we want to partner with doc.io to have a common API so that users can easily register in both platforms. Maybe eventually in the future they can use they can complete their profiles automatically too. So I mean there's loads of possibilities to make them very, very user friendly, and not they don't really need to be competing aggressively against one another. Of course, with other types of companies, like I said, like landing jobs, LinkedIn, you need to compete with them. It's a different approach, I guess, because what they give to users is just a platform. There's no incentive for a user to be there, right? I mean, there's the incentive of the network, of course, but besides that, they don't get anything out of it. So I think that when people start realizing that, wait, now I can I can get some tokens, or I can make some money out of a platform without spending anything. Well, you spend your time, of course. So that will probably, I hope, drive people more into these types of platforms. Regarding competition, I think it's going to be a little bit different for cryptocurrency related companies. For normal businesses, I guess our main competitors, I would say, it's LinkedIn and landing jobs. Sorry for stretching it, the answer a little bit.
Cool. And on the marketing side of things, I know you mentioned the digital marketing to people. How are you, what's the plan for getting the people on the business side of things, and what's the plan for?
So basically, our marketing plan right now, it's basically online marketing. So I'm using tools like Facebook, Twitter, Google, sometimes LinkedIn to promote the business. Google Ads, of course, and those have been the tools that I've been using. I've been doing, as I said, some live events. I've participated in different job shops here in Portugal. Contacting different universities. So that we can actually support them. Like, for example, here in Lisbon, I joined EIST. It's Instituto Superior Técnico. It's one of the biggest technical universities in Portugal, maybe the biggest. And I'm supporting their sports team, right? So I'm the official sponsor of the football team for men and women, and the basketball team, and etc. So I'm trying to do that with universities, support them, show some love, of course, because I think we need candidates, we need people, especially good people from good universities, to join within the platform, so that we make it attractive, also for employers, of course. So that's something that we want to do with with different universities, to have different kinds of partnerships, either supporting sports teams or supporting different courses. I don't know. We're trying to come up with nice ideas to work with universities. But in terms of marketing, what we're doing right now, it's more online marketing, I guess. It's just ads, basically, YouTube ads, etc. Yeah.
As long as it works.
Yes, exactly. As long as it works, and it has it has worked. We haven't spent that much money on marketing, to be honest. Less than 5% of our budget, yearly budget, basically. So I mean, and it's working. It has brought loads of candidates, I guess. Well, not loads, but a nice user base.
And as far as the ICO, what are your timelines for it? How much money are you planning to raise?
Sure. So basically, the ICO, it's already running. We're only raising 400 Ether. So, and this was my personal decision, because one of the things that I'm a little bit against is the amounts of money that other cryptocurrency projects are raising, especially because this is a decentralized way of raising money. So I think people should be a little bit more careful, because it's everybody's money, right? It's kind of like crowdfunding. So you're using people's money to fund your business, your company.
Yeah.
So you actually need to validate your idea, validate your business first, and when I say validate, it's actually make sure that companies want it, users like it, and it's going to work out, because you're using people's money, so you just shouldn't spend it on online marketing campaigns. and not care about like the product actually. So I'm very product focused. So that's why I've built the first version. I'm building the second and releasing it very, very close to the ICO. Because honestly, I wanted to make sure that everything in terms of business was already set up correctly. We already had customers and people using the platform before I started raising money. And we're not raising that much because, again, as I said, we already built a platform with our own personal funding. A second version too, so the money will be used to make it grow, basically to be used on marketing campaigns, better marketing campaigns, basically growth hack, going to events, etc. Right? So we want to use part of the money to build the third version of the platform, which is going to be the version with the active tokens, basically, so where people can use the tokens within the ecosystem. Sorry. So funding will be, for us, will be used like especially on marketing, and then to develop this third version. We also want to bring like more team members, and we've been able to do that during like this ICO period. So we've brought one smart contract developer, Luis, is already in our team. We're negotiating with another one. I'm not going to say the name because we're still negotiating. We have more advisors coming in. Our team is growing. We want to add like another designer to the team. We want to add more business related people to be focused on marketing. Like we have a community manager right now. Marcos is a YouTuber. He has a Portuguese channel, one of the first cryptocurrencies channels in Portugal. So he's very knowledgeable, very tech savvy, and that's the kind of people that we want to bring into Bityond. People that love the project, love the idea, understand why we're not raising like millions, that we want to do it like grow slowly, but really love the concept and see value in it. And that's what we've been doing. So we haven't like grown the team like exponentially, because I don't see like value in it. I see value in bringing people who can actually contribute to the company, who actually want to waste their own time understanding the business, understanding how it can be improved, and etc. So I think that's what we're trying to do. And of course, with a little bit of funding, it's going to be easier, I guess.
And as far as protection for investors, have you guys got escrow in place, or any rules around that? Or?
Well, I was the one building the smart contracts, and they've been verified by Luis, the programmer that we took in. We also want to have. Well, I wanted to have, an independent, basically an independent audit. But because we just hired Luis and he's working with us now, and he's a smart contract developer, and he has built already cryptocurrency platforms like Repop World, for example, and you should check it out. It's really, really cool. It's kind of like CryptoKitties, but for celebrities. It's pretty awesome. So he's very, very knowledgeable. So he's auditing our smart contract. So I'm very confident in his skills. Of course, because we're bringing another smart contract developer, is also going to audit the whole smart contract, of course. So we already going to have two separate audits. I think that's
maybe sorry to cut you off, but maybe I'm misunderstanding your answer, or
sorry,
make the question clearer. Like, the question I was trying to ask was, when people invest with you, like in the current marketplace, one of the big things is people are worried about just scams. Like they're going to invest the money and then they're not going to see anything. So some people have put escrow in place, or milestones, funds only get released when. So have you got anything like that in place?
Oh yeah, of course. We obviously have milestones. We have a roadmap, and anybody can check it out. It's in our ICO page, basically in our ICO website on the Bityond page, and basically you can see like the general roadmap. What I want to focus is where we are now. So basically, on the development of Bityond 2.0 and the live version of Bityond 1.0. So what's going to happen until the end of the year is that we're releasing the version 2.0, so the beta version. We're going to have companies using it, providing feedback, and we're basically going to use that feedback just to fix small problems that arise.
Sorry to cut you off again, man. Like
So let me give me a second. Sorry, just to try to see if the internet gets a little bit better. Sorry.
The question is about investor protection.
Okay.
So like, I don't know if I'm not making how I can make that clearer, but the point of this question is, like I said, all the questions are supposed to answer questions.
Sure.
So one of the questions that the audience have is, if I send this money to you, what protection do I have? Is there escrow in place?
Okay.
Is there any limit on how you guys can spend the money?
Okay, I get it. Okay, sorry. If there are functionalities built within the smart contracts to protect the investors' money, is that correct?
My question is, if someone sends you money and invests in this project, what protections are there for them?
Okay, I mean, well, in terms of smart contract protections, let me see.
Any protections you guys have got in place?
Okay, I mean, well, we don't have any. Well, we have an escrow for the crowd sale. Of course, it's the Bityond crowd sale. It's a separate contract from the Bityond tokens. So they're two separate things, right? So I mean, we've done that, of course, and we've used a POA network, which means that all the smart contracts were deployed by using the standard Zeppelin contracts, right? And POA, they built an interface so that contracts can be easily deployed without making any errors, right? So I mean that was the protection that I thought that I needed to build in the smart contracts. Within the contracts, we don't have any freezing, we don't have any type of milestone based like a DICO, for example. And it's very easy to tell you why I didn't implement a DICO. Because they're very, very new, and I don't know any company that has done one successfully, and I didn't want to be the first one using those contracts, right? So they're the best for milestones, as you say. They're very, very good, but they're very, very, very new. So I wanted to use something that's standardized, like Zeppelin contracts. So no, we don't have any functionality built within the contracts, for freezing, for milestones or anything. No, we don't have that. So we can use the funds as we wish. Sorry.
And as a last thing, just that's all the questions that I had scheduled or planned out. But I just wanted to give you the floor. Is there anything from an investment point of view you think people would like to know or need to know before getting involved?
I mean, sure. Well, I guess that, what's going to happen is, I mean, one of the questions that we get from people, and obviously it's a very good question, is why should I invest in your business? Especially because tokens are given for free to users. So I mean, why would I put my money into your company, right? And that's a very, very fair question. In our case, I think we want to give incentives to investors, right? So the first incentive is the amount of tokens that we get. So if you buy 1 Ether worth of Bityond tokens, you get 100,000 tokens, which is loads of tokens. Well, we have a supply limit of 100 million tokens, and of those 100 million, we the team are going to keep 10%. 40% are going to the investors, and 50% are reserved for the users. So when we say for the users, they are for airdrops, bounties, and user rewards while using the platform. So what we want to give to investors is like a certainty that we're not keeping tokens for ourselves. We're keeping 10%, of course, so that we can pay advisors, pay team members, etc. But all the power is going to be on their hands, right? On the users' hands. And they can actually use the tokens for governance. So we won't have that much power within the platform. So even if we want to go one direction, if people see value in going in another, it's fine, absolutely fine. They can decide, right? So I think that what investors will actually buy is not like a stake in the business, but something which I consider to be better, which is a stake in how the platform develops, because that's how the product will actually look like. So in the future, we want to put the whole infrastructure onto Ethereum or other sidechains like Looms, for example. But until it's stable, we prefer to keep just the governance. So what they're buying what they're buying by investing is the power to make decisions within how the platform develops, basically. So I think we're trying to add more more functionality, more features, like as the platform develops, and we really want users' contribution, because I don't think that we know more than the whole generality of people, and we want their contributions. And I think that's the only way to get them, is by creating an incentive for people to actually use the platform and actually want to vote and to react to care about how this platform develops. So hopefully the investors will see value in it. They also will get airdrops, so yearly airdrops. We're starting with 2 million tokens on the first year that are going to be given for free to any investor who invests within the platform during the ICO. So I think that's a very good incentive to invest to, is that you're going to get tokens for free. So I guess that's that's the incentive that we can give to people. Hopefully, in the future, with users' contribution, we can improve upon how you can use the tokens within the platform.
Sounds good. Okay, well, that's all from me, and thank you for taking the time to talk to us. I hope everyone found it very interesting.
Okay, I'm really thankful for for this opportunity.